Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this time we'll try to understand what is the difference between an agent versus workflow versus chatbot, and how choosing the right pattern actually leads you to the development of an agent or a workflow or a chatbot, or the pattern is something which will actually differentiate between the three. So let's dive in. In the last video, a quick recap. We understood what is an agent, what is an LLM, how an agent is different from an LLM because of the reasoning core, how the agent is the program that performs the action. So just a quick recap. This is our agent. It connected with the LLM. Sorry, asked some questions, got a response. Again connected, asked some questions, got a response. Based on the responses, the agent connected to maybe APIs, DBs, or connectors, right? This is what we understood. So let's go one level deeper and a bit wider as to uh, you know when you're actually designing something, what exactly it is for organizations, and how it is important for them to know the difference between a chatbot or a workflow or an agent. So I've seen organizations where they are saying, whether it is pharma, banking, or other industries, they say that we are building an agent, but I really doubt whether they are actually building an agent or they are simply building a chatbot or a workflow, right? So that is the question we are trying to answer in this video. A quick recap of how an agent and LLM talk before we differentiate. Last time what we saw, the agent always gets a goal which comes in. Okay, agent is your program which you're writing, but it is totally dependent on the reasoning core. It connects to the reasoning core, the LLM. The LLM gives the response back to the agent then connects to multiple tools. It can be APIs, databases, connectors, and systems to perform the action expected from the agent. Okay, so goal in, one action back, agent acts, agent returns, back and forth, over and over, which happens between an agent and the reasoning core or the LLM. So this is how you define the distributed system with one reasoning core. Okay, that is where we had left off in the last video. So moving ahead, again, the example of fund transfer. This is an important example to look upon once again. Let's say there is a goal of transferring 50,000. The agent connects with the LLM. LLM says, please check the balance. Agent checks the balance, comes back. LLM says, check the limit. Limit is fine. Now do the debit. Debit is done, and so on. But as I told you in the last video also, that this is a very hypothetical example to just explain the interaction between an agent and LLM. In a real world scenario, this use case of a fund transfer of 50,000 cannot follow this sequence, or I should say interruption, of again and again going back to the reasoning core, right? This has to be a deterministic approach. Deterministic approach means these all sequences should directly be executed one by one without actually any need for connecting to a LLM, right? But just for the sake of explanation, I gave you this example so that you can relate to a fund transfer happening. Okay, so this is how the loop is happening between an agent and a this LLM. Okay, so the design slows the system down, as I told you that if you take that use case in a non-deterministic manner where the LLM, so when I say non-deterministic means nothing is predefined, the LLM is actually reasoning it like a human, thinking and then responding, right? Nothing is hard coded. But when I say deterministic, when I said that okay, these sequences will be executed directly in a banking environment, that means it is something which is deterministic and already defined, right? Okay, in a non-deterministic manner where the core or the advantage of the agent lies is that it decides at runtime. Okay, but that freedom costs time. Okay, Now, when I say it costs time, as a deterministic program, sorry, non-deterministic program, if it is programmed in a deterministic way, your transaction happens in milliseconds. But if you try to implement a reasoning core in the mix and an agent, it may take maybe a few seconds, which is a bad customer experience. Okay, so now, you know, repeating this example again and again, the loop, and then again and again, mentioning that okay, that will slow down the system. The thought which will come to your mind is that okay, so where are we trying to go towards? Are we saying that okay, we will build a agentic AI system which will give a bad customer experience, and which is not good and healthy for enterprise systems? uh, no. So this is the question. This is a kind of a question which I'm trying to put in your mind, so that you really understand what are those use cases where the agentic AI will come into picture and how we will use it. So hold on to this idea, where you know that for now, whatever example we saw, an agentic system will lag and provide a bad customer experience. Okay. So moving ahead, you'll come to know, where actually an agent will be used. Okay, so again, coming back to the fact where we started, whether it's a chatbot, workflow, or agent, when organizations claim that they are building an agent, three patterns, three different deciders. Chatbot, simple, you ask a question, it responds, you act. Workflow, a series of steps pre-developed by a developer months ago, right? So the fund transfer example, in a deterministic manner, can also be a workflow where all the sequences are already predefined. Agent is always, you'll get a goal and it will decide the action dynamically. Okay, let's see with a few examples. Let's say you ask to a chatbot, how do I reach from Pune, reach Pune from Mumbai? So the chatbot can give you a very clean answer. Take the Mumbai Pune expressway, which is by road, and you asked, it answered, the action is taken by you, the human. Okay, workflow, for the same for the same requirement, you actually open Google Maps and enter the destination as Pune. What happens? It calculates the route, how to reach Pune. It starts the navigation, you follow the directions and you arrive. Right, this is a workflow already defined. So what I mean to say is that if you enter something else other than Pune, let's say you mention Bangalore in Google Maps, it will do the same process, calculate route, navigation, follow direction, you arrive. If you mention Hyderabad, it does the same thing, calculates the route, navigation, and then you arrive. That means this workflow is, again, every step was decided before you ever open the app. Okay, so this is how workflow is defined. If we move ahead, okay, another example for workflow in a bank. Let's say a customer applies for a loan. The documents are verified. Okay, the credit score is checked, the loan is approved. That means this entire workflow is also predefined. So workflows are predefined. Okay, moving ahead, same example, agent, you ask the agent, get me from Mumbai to Pune by 5 p.m. Now this is something different, where agent has a backing of a reasoning core, right? So it can actually think, it can actually reason. Okay, it will say best route is by road, but if the road can't make it, or if it is not possible by road, as there may be too much of traffic, it can actually suggest you to take the train instead. Right, it can do some analysis, it can do some thinking, it can actually connect to tools, maybe some API which shows the real-time traffic from Mumbai to Pune by expressway, right? And it can do some calculations, right? Okay, if we go by road, then there is additional time which is going to take, better I would suggest the train, right? So you did not specify a single step, the agent decided them at runtime, right? It actually reasoned as to what is the best way to do. So these are the three examples which will help you understand what is the difference between a chatbot, workflow, and an agent. Simplest way to remember: chatbot, tell me something. Workflow is always follow these steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Agent, you actually tell it to achieve a goal, and it can reason and help you achieve that goal. So then where should we actually use agents? Now coming to the actual question which we parked upon, right, before some time, where we talked about the fund transfer example, and then we figured out that it's if we use an agent in a fund transfer, that will be something very slow. So if you take that same fund transfer example in a different way, okay, what will happen? Let's see. Okay, so if the fund transfer which you're doing 50,000 that fails, okay, so the customer says my 50,000 transaction failed, and the recipient says he has not received the payment. Okay, this is interesting. Now you don't have a service. As much as I know, I am from a banking background, right? I have around 23 years of experience in financial services. There is no automated service or application which can actually directly answer this question as of now, as I speak, while we are talking, or while I'm building this video. Okay, so this becomes interesting. What happens is that this can be given to an agent. What an agent can do, it can investigate one finding at a time. It can actually go and connect and see, connect to the service which is responsible for debiting the amount. Was the amount debited from the account? Was it sent to the payment switch or not? Was there an error or timeout received? Was it credited into the beneficiary account? Are other customers facing the same problem right now? Flag the problematic component of the responsibility. Okay, I just ran through very fast through these sequences, but the point which I want to highlight is that nobody could write this sequence in advance. It cannot be deterministic. I'll tell you why. Let's say that uh, you know the first question itself, the answer which the agent gets is that, was the amount debited from the account? No, it was not debited from the account. Okay, then the next question automatically changes. It will not ask this question. Okay, uh, to the reasoning core, of course. It will actually ask the next question: is there a problem with the debit service? Is there a problem with the debit service DB? Is there a problem with the DB connection pool? Right? So the question automatically questions changes, right? This is what the reasoning core will give back to the agent, because it knows that, okay, for this question the answer came as no, it did not came as yes. If it would have came as yes, then the question would have gone to this: whether was it sent to the payment switch or not. So let's say, for example, if it goes to the second question, as the first question came yes, then again the reasoning core will tell the agent to investigate. Okay, what is the status of the payments switch? Okay, whether the service, sorry, whether the service of the payment switch is working fine, whether the DB is working fine, okay, whether the DNS URL is working fine, right? There are so many nuances you can see, right, which actually an agent and a reasoning core can cover based on training and patterns. This part cannot be deterministic. You cannot hard code this and create a service out of this. It's quite impossible. This is where the agent comes into picture. This is where the agent earns its place, right? This is a classic example where an agent can be built and a superior customer service can be provided. So let's say the agent reaches a conclusion and it explains. For example, the debit happened, reached the payment switched, but it figured it out that it timed out at the switch and the credit did not happen. But it will know that the credit did not happen still. There is a process called as reconciliation, which normally happens by end of day, okay, by which the amount will be credited back to the actual from account. Okay, so the agent can actually give this response back to the customer: the money was debited but the credit did not happen, the amount will be credited back into your account, right? This is seamless. I mean, even if it takes 10 seconds, or probably even if it goes to the customer in the form of an SMS or email, still the customer will be happy, even if it takes 10 minutes, right? So it got its goal, a real answer out. No developer wrote that part. This is not something hard coded. Again, I'm repeating that it is not something which is hard coded as a sequence or a workflow which is doing this. It's basis the reasoning core where the agent is continuously interacting with the reasoning core and getting these answers. Okay, next thing to remember is that there is a thin line between a workflow and an agent. Be careful. See, so let's say if I take the loan example, right, where the documents are submitted, there is a credit check process, approval and disbursement. There is a high possibility that for the credit check, an agent is actually sitting and doing it. An agent can actually send the documents to multiple fintech partners for validation, run its own reasoning check whether every parameter is ticked. So the journey is a workflow, but the one step within that journey is an agent. So these are the design parameters or design decisions which you need to take while building an agent for your organization. Do keep in mind. So let's retrace the journey. uh, Chatbot, text in, text out. Human decides what happens, what not. Workflow already designed and developed A to B every time. We took the example of Google Maps, right? Or maybe uh, fund transfer workflow for transferring funds from one account to another account. Agent, no predefined action. Give it a goal. It decides in real time. This is important. I mean, the most important part when any organization actually says that we are building an agent is figuring out the actual use case, the business need, and then actually mapping it to the agent and deciding whether actually an agent is required or not, and whether that agent will give them the required ROI or not. That is the important piece which many organizations are missing nowadays. The loop is slow. We know every round trip to the model costs seconds and money. So a transfer is a workflow. Sequence is already known, agent adds nothing. But a failed transfer, the scenario which we took where we want to know where it failed, how it failed, and how to trace the steps to check the failure and then respond to the customer, that is how an agent can work. The line is thin. You can embed an agent inside one step of a workflow also. That is also possible. Keep that in mind. This is again a design decision. uh, Always you have to design deliberately. Choose the pattern from the problem, not from the vocabulary. Don't use default, okay, whatever is available as a part of the vocabulary. Choose the pattern, design the pattern, feed the pattern to your LLM if you want the best agent possible for your enterprise agentic AI. So next time somebody says we are building an agent for a fund transfer journey, you know that sequence is already fully known. So nothing is being decided at runtime, which actually makes it a workflow correctly built. And if you use it for a fund transfer journey, the model only adds seconds and cost. But if you use it for a failed transfer journey, then it is an agent. Okay. So I think we were able to understand few differences between chatbot, workflow, agent. At the same time, the important part which we learned is that how and what are the use cases of actually building an agent in an organization. Okay, so just to keep you on track and keeping your eyes on the prize, this is where we are right now. We know which pattern to choose. We are here, and we have a lot of videos to come in the series. Stay with the series and you will not just understand agentic AI, you will be able to design one. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks. Bye bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, if you're able to understand everything and comprehend everything and it is informative for you, please do like, subscribe and share. Thank you. Bye bye.